You check your numbers, make sure you don't put any numbers in the wrong spot. Everything that's line right here, between 7 and 8, everything between those lines. Everything here between 6 and 7. You all have something that looks something like that? Next, we need to figure out where the groundwater's going. You're still staring at it, oh, wait a second. You gotta figure out where the groundwater's going. So we're gonna draw a flow line. And the flow line, this is real important for what we're doing here, the homework that you're gonna be doing, you need to be able to do this. I have a contour line like this. My groundwater is gonna be flowing perpendicular to there. So usually when I do it, I make sure I'm looking right over top of it, so that I make sure it crosses perfect. And I did not, it's not perfect. Not perfect. It can have problems later. Now, the way I figure out which direction it's going is which contour lines are higher and which ones are lower. But you gotta make sure that our flow lines are perpendicular to, yeah, flow lines are perpendicular to contour lines. So they're, in this case, they're all coming together. I'm gonna do that on this map.
Pencil.
I'm just gonna start here. Looking at that closely, and I'm making sure I'm crossing correctly. Now just follow that. And I'm going from high elevation to low elevation. Or higher numbers to lower numbers, so I know it's flowing this direction. This one's gonna do something really strange. So let's see on here. We have two areas where we have contamination. We have something just for chemicals and then something buried on the site there. Here we have a leaky petroleum tank. There'll be an underground petroleum tank. Gas station used to be here. It's leaking. So it's leaking there. Do a flow line right through there. Looking to see where it's going. I do one over here. There's the drums that are leaking over here. Whatever leaking. your problem is, the reason why you're out there, you drilled all these expensive wells. Wells themselves aren't that expensive. It was, having this many wells was very expensive. Now you did it for a reason. Got some property, you're gonna be putting in a it's going to put in the soccer field or something like that. Then maybe not soccer, because we need to have the right elevation, right? It's at the level. Anyway, there's gonna be some sort of a children's, a place where children are gonna be playing a lot. So that we need to buy the property. We have 4 properties to choose from. They all have, water wells on the properties. So we need to water the fields. The water's gonna come from the wells that are on the property. So you have to pick one of these spots. Property A. It has 1, 2, or 3, or 4. And we'll look to see where that contamination is going. This contamination that's there. We'll go here. All this area is potentially contaminated. There's one leaky tank that's right there. I'm looking over here. Wait, you think they go straight down, but no, it doesn't. All of this area is contaminated. Which property should you buy? Property number 2 at the top. We don't have the plume going through. A plume is the groundwater that is contaminated. It's all on the ground. Now, groundwater, it's not like a river.
Open
Groundwater
door.
is- It's the sand stuff.
Door. He said, why you open the door with that hair?
It's the water is in between these grains, in this rock. So there's sand, there are the cement that's holding together, there's still some pore space in there, and that's where the water is. And we pump it out from between those pore spaces. This is why we want to be very porous, hold a lot of water, and very permeable, and it will transmit that water through it. That makes sense? When you have an assignment, you'll be able. Another way of doing it, but I like having the whole area where you see the whole blue, not just the arrows. Okay. Another part of groundwater. Groundwater can be slightly acidic, and it can cause dissolving of the limestone that are below the surface. So we could form caves. Caves are naturally formed underground chambers. Caused from the groundwater, the acidic groundwater dissolving the limestone along joints and bedding planes. So we have. And we also, in this area, you'll have a lot of sinkholes because you're weakening the rock that's below it, causing the land surface to sink. So you end up with a lot of sinkholes. And, then the type of area where you have a lot of caves and sinkholes, and you'll have disappearing streams. This is a karst part of that. Karst, the German word that, not exactly sure what the word is, but this is the word that we use across the world for this type of photography. Now, it won't always look like the picture they have there with all the sinkholes that are that close together. I grew up in the area that limestone, a lot of caves. Down the road is called Caves, Rust Cave Road. So there must have been a lot of caves there, never even thought about it. I also didn't think about, there's one lot in our area that is not built on for years and years. It had a big hole in the center of it, trees growing up, never thought about it. After learning about this, I was like, that was a sinkhole. So what to build on the sinkhole? There's a house there now. I'm a little worried about the house. It's probably has a lot of cracked basements. Then I think I talked about playing in the swamp. One of the areas had one of the sinkholes was filled with water further down the street. The swamp's not there anymore either. Went by there and said, where is this swamp? It's not there. I don't know if there's a house on it or not. But here we have a system that has the cave system in it. You'll see sinkholes on the surface. We'll see streams that just disappear into one of these sinkholes. Cave entrance. Might be an area with lots of springs. We have a lot of caves in Missouri and a lot of springs in Missouri. Water's coming out that way. And these caves are formed underneath the water table with the acidic water in the groundwater. Little rain is coming down, going through the cracks, going through bedding planes, get down to below the water table, and then it's just dissolved out some of the rock. Because limestone, calcium carbonate, it starts dissolving with acidic water, puts acid onto a piece of limestone, bubbles up. You're dissolving out the rock. That's what's happening to the land, to the limestones around here. So when you have water filling the area, you can have erosion going on, dissolving of the rocks. And one cave with rocks, you can have caves, and you start having deposition occurring where we can have stalactites, stalagmites, stalactites from the ceiling that hang on tight, stalagmites from the ground surface, ground, and then you stand up with all their might. Only way I can remember which one's which. It's like might stand up with all their might, it's like tights hang on tight. Other people have other ways of remembering which is which. This is where we have, now we have some thick water is still going through this rock up here. It's dissolving out that calcium carbonate, and it comes in here, and it comes down. Yeah, just comes down. Yeah, let's go back. Just drop by drop. It's going to come down, be on the roof of the cave, one drop, and it degasses. And when it degasses, it leaves the calcium carbonate behind. Then another drop, more calcium carbonates left behind. Just drop after drop, these stalactites form, and then occasionally they'll drop to the floor and build up the stalagmites. And when they come together, they end up being a column. This is some stalactites in Flowstone where you just had a wall of the calcium carbonate deposits. Remember that the caves are floating